believe that the hydroxy treatment is the future for health and wellness?
I do.
Just in general. Yeah.
I absolutely do. It'll be implemented by everyone everywhere. And it's kind of like the Ford Model T days when Henry Ford said, "I want to have a car in every driveway." Well, people need to really have one of these in every home, and it will
Yes.
revolutionize health as we know it. Suddenly, we may have a actual health care system instead of
Yeah.
a sick care system.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's more profitable to keep people sick because you're selling the drugs and all that kind of stuff, and sick people keep coming back for more drugs. So if you mitigate the symptoms
Hmm.
instead of curing the disease, then you have essentially a captive audience that will continue buying your product, which is the drugs and stuff. So
Wow.
this way, people just won't get sick, and then the doctors will be there for healing broken bones and maybe doing cosmetic surgery and things like that. The healthcare, the billions and billions that are spent on healthcare right now will be
Hmm.
mitigated just by having one of these machines in every home.
I'm really pleased to be doing this interview with you, and I think that the people who are on the live call and those who are going to watch this after the call, it's just we're amazed with what the technology can do and what it can bring. So, how can customers get in touch with you, George?
They go to eagle-research.com. So eagle like the bird, and
Yeah.
then a dash mark, and then research.com. And there's a contact page so that they can click on it and send me an email from there. So that's how they get in touch. And of course, then they can go to the shop, to the store, and buy the machines and what have you as well.
Well, that's brilliant. So, I mean, that pretty much does as far as my questions. Now, I think there are some comments here from some of our members. So let's see what we have. You ready to answer a few more questions?
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Excellent. Okay. Here's a question. How to determine how long to breathe the HHO per day?
That is a
Any?
very good
Yeah.
question. Okay. Um, so one of the things that happens at first, so there's a time when you have to get into it. You have to think of hydrogen as a food, because you normally get it from your food. You can't just breathe in hydrogen from the air because it's got mostly oxygen and nitrogen, and there's a very teeny amount of hydrogen. In fact, if you have a hydrogen balloon, you see that whoof, up in the air it goes.
Hmm.
Back to God.
Yeah.
So so in any case, the atmosphere doesn't have hydrogen. So where do you get your hydrogen from? Well, most people didn't know, and even doctors didn't know for hundreds or thousands of years. It's only recently that anybody paid attention to this, just like when Isaac Newton got bonked on the head with an apple. He said, "Oh, well, what about gravity?" Anyway, so this hydrogen thing is important, and you get it from your food. So your food has hydrogen in it, hydrocarbons essentially, and and when you eat, your body it breaks it down, starting with the enzymes in your mouth and the mastication, and then goes through the acids in your stomach and the lower intestines. But the actual hydrogen doesn't get released from the food until your colon. Okay, your food is almost coming out of you, and and that's where the bacteria live that do the final breaking off. It takes a lot of energy to break the hydrogen off of anything, because hydrogen is tightly bound to molecules on the planet, or else poof, away it would go. Right. All right. So now the key thing is that these particular bacteria, and you can imagine there's millions and millions of different kinds of bacteria, but there's bacteria that are best at breaking the hydrogen off of food.
Okay.
And those bacteria happen to be very sensitive to antibiotics. And what do we do whenever anybody is sick or anything like that? We feed them antibiotics. So you get a short-term gain if antibiotics do work and help people get over a minor crisis, but it killed those bacteria. So the long term, your immune system has now suffered because you don't have the hydrogen to support the immune system, because those bacteria need to be rebuilt. And I'm hoping that people will get into probiotics that will regenerate that. And there is research that's going on with that. Nevertheless, hydrogen is important. And it comes back to, it's a food. Hydrogen is actually a building block of life. So imagine that you are on a starvation diet and you haven't eaten anything for a month. If you don't have a 7-course meal, you have a little soup, else you're going to be sick. And the same thing happens with the hydrogen. When you first start inhaling it, you want to inhale it slowly, or all kinds of weirdnesses can happen because your body suddenly gets this massive treasure trove of food that it's needed and starts doing all kinds of things with it, and it makes you feel weird. So And the weirdnesses can be headaches or rashes, or you can't sleep, or you sleep too much, or okay. I say weirdness because every body is different, and I have no idea how it's going to manifest in any particular body. But I do know you need to start slow. Okay, now you've built up. I say let's start about 5 minutes 3 times a day, because it, like food, it's best if you have some and then let your body absorb, and then have some and let your body absorb. Okay, so so about 5 minutes 3 times a day, increase a minute a day. So the second day, 6 minutes 3 times a day, third day, 7 minutes, like that. So now when you're up to 20 minutes 3 times a day, then you can inhale all you want. Like I've inhaled as much as 8 hours a day. And a lot of people sleep all night with it. They just go to sleep with the cannulas on and breathe it all night. And that's fine. There's no problem with that whatsoever. There's no toxic limit of the gas, because if you inhale more than your body needs when your blood is saturated, you just exhale the excess. The body just gets rid of it, just like excess carbon dioxide. So to answer the question, generally a therapeutic value would be a minimum of an hour a day, preferably in 3 20-minute sections. But some people, they just don't have 20 minutes 3 times a day that they can sit down and do it. So you do what you can.